Hey guys, it's Sam here and welcome back to this week's review, and there is only one place to start this week, and that is last night's game, Monday Night Football, Newcastle against Liverpool. 16-year-old Rio off the bench, scoring the winner in the 100th minute, becoming Liverpool's youngest ever goal scorer. And Heart Attack Paul is at it again. Yeah. A very mixed feeling for me was last night, because of course I'm glad we won, but I'm not really happy with the win, because for the second week running we have thrown away a 2-0 lead, and that is simply embarrassing. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're throwing away 2-0 leads, it's embarrassing. We can't keep clean sheets to save our lives. We are awful at the back, and last week I was at the opinion of, I hope we don't budge on our stance on Marc Guéhi and we don't give Palace what they want. Well, this week it's a full 180, and I'm like, I don't care. If it's 40, pay it. If it's 50, pay it. Because I don't know what is going on with Konaté. I don't know if he's carrying an injury. I don't know if it's the contract situation and the speculation with Real Madrid plaguing his mind, or if he is just shit. But he has cost us already too many goals in the first two games. He's been utter shit, and I'm in the thing now of either you pay for Marc Guéhi or you throw 18-year-old Giovanni Leone in there, because Konaté is dog. I've seen enough already to suggest that I don't know what's going on with him, but he needs a break. He just needs out of the team for a bit to sort himself out, whether it's to get fit or to sort his contract and future out, because he just can't defend. His one job as a defender is to defend, and he can't do it. So yeah, I was pissed, and I'm not gonna lie, 2 minutes into added time I turned it off, because I was like, I'm sick of this. We've thrown away a 2-0 lead again. We're looking like we're gonna lose it. We're getting battered by 10 men. Fuck this, I'm out. I can't be arsed. And then I heard a noise, which I knew was which I later found out was my mum downstairs celebrating. I was like, I don't know if that's outside or downstairs. I'm just gonna check the score. Sorry, it was 3-2. I was like, turn it back on, and it just came to show the replay of Rio's goal, and I was like, go on Rio. And I am so glad that it was him, because he's had a brilliant pre-season, very talented young lad, and yeah, absolutely no doubt in my mind that he has a place this season already, just at 16. You know, I think he will definitely get quite a few minutes this season, especially when Salah goes to AFCON. I think he's ready. I know he'll be 17, but I mean, if you're good enough, you're good enough. Like I mentioned previously, Lamine Yamal made his debut at 15 and has not come out of the Barcelona team since. You know, if you're good enough, you're good enough. It doesn't matter what age you are, and Rio is definitely good enough. So that is the biggest take from that, I would say, is just, we leave it at that. Rio with the winner, and yeah, if I try and delve too much into a Liverpool game, it's just going to bring up anger. And I don't want to do that because we won. So let's just focus on the very, very minimal positive, which was the win. And we'll leave it at that. But yeah, flipping over to Friday, the Friday night game. West Ham against Chelsea. Chelsea smashed West Ham 5-1. Not looking good for Graham Potter at all. I think last week I said it could be Keith Andrews that becomes the first manager to leave. It's very possible that it could be Graham Potter. He might not even last till September. You know, it's looking very bleak at West Ham. He did not have a great spell in the end of last season after taking over from Fuck mate, Julian! We'll just call him Julian. I'm gonna butcher his name so bad. But yeah, the previous manager, he didn't have a great spell since taking over. So, it's not started well again this season. He's already under a lot of pressure. And, I mean, there isn't really a lot more you can say about West Ham. They look awful, and if you're going to lose a game 5-1, at least don't take the lead in it. Like, that's bad. To go 1-0 up inside, what was it? I think it was 6 minutes. Yeah, 6 minutes. And then, like, not even... What's that? Like, 9 minutes later, Pedro scored an equaliser. Like, you can't even keep a lead for 9 minutes. And then a few minutes later, it's 2-1, 3-1, second half, 4-1, 5-1. And it's just embarrassing, really. And you have to really sort it out. And West Ham look very, very poor. They don't look like a team that has any real danger going forward. They don't look like a team that know how to defend. I mean, it's not a good start to the season for them at all. And if they don't quickly find some proper marquee signings in these next 6 days, they are in deep, deep trouble. And so is Graham Potter. But there's not really a lot to say in that. Obviously Chelsea doing Chelsea things, and they go on win. Like, there's not a lot that you could really say when a team is really bad and just pretty much gifts you a bunch of goals. Like, it's not... I don't want to take too much away from Chelsea, because obviously you still have to play well in order to score 5, but it also helps if the opposition you are playing is incredibly shit, and that is how West Ham played. So, moving into Saturday, again, I think the major talking point from Saturday's game, or games, should I say, is probably that Tottenham beat City at the Etihad by 2-0, and yeah, that's a big win for Thomas Frank and for Tottenham, especially considering this was supposed to be the return of City. They were supposed to be back because they were able to beat a terrible Wolves team 4-0, but they're not. Clearly, they still have holes. Clearly, they are still not... They're still beatable, let's say. So, Tottenham showed that. Great start for Thomas Frank. 2 from 2. And... yeah, there's again, not really a lot you can say in that. It's just a great start for him. And he's having a great start. Like, I don't really know what else to say in that. The other games, Bournemouth beat Wolves 1-0, Brentford beat Villa 1-0, Burnley did beat Sunderland 2-0, which I do think was quite a shock, especially when Sunderland won their opening game as well. You would have thought that Sunderland would have won that, but no, Burnley did. So a big win for Scott Parker to get up and running in the Premier League. Yeah, I think Villa will be disappointed losing away to Brentford, because Brentford was smashed by Forest. Honestly, it could have been more than 3-1. They were awful. They were all over the place. They had no real attacking threat. And it's a big thing for the new boy to score the goal for Brentford. Getting that early on inside 12 minutes, and then Villa just couldn't find the opening. But yeah, it's big for Keith Andrews as well to get his first win under his belt quite early in his first home game as well. So that is big for him. But I think Villa will be very disappointed not to take something from that, because you think that it probably should be a game that they should be winning. But we do know Brentford is a hard place to go. Maybe that'll still continue, either with a different manager. But then Arsenal beat Leeds 5-0. I think that just showed how poor Everton were against Leeds. The fact that Leeds battered them and only won 1-0. Again, that is difficult because Leeds are away and you're playing Arsenal, but they got smashed 5-0. And let's be fair, it could have been a lot more. Victor Gyökeres with his first 2 Arsenal goals, one from this penalty spot, one was a very well taken goal just after half time, and the again big taking points from that game was that Odegaard and Saka went off injured. We do know Saka is out for a few weeks, so he is going to miss Sunday's game against Liverpool. Don't know about Odegaard yet. I've not seen anything on that, so again, not sure if he is going to make that game. He could be one of them where you just find out a little bit later that he's probably out for a few weeks as well. But when you're coming off the pitch, it's not always great. So it's hard to also then sort of pick it up only a week later. So he could most likely, may probably miss the game on Sunday, which could be a big boost for us, but also with the way our defence is at the minute, it doesn't matter who's up front for Arsenal. Those forwards will be licking their lips, knowing full well that that game could be any score. We could be in for another 4-4 here, because Arsenal going forward are great, at the back quite shaky. Liverpool going forward great, at the back almost non-existent. So honestly, it could be any score, and I'm not looking forward to it. I am shitting myself, I won't lie. Moving on to Sunday, Palace and Forest played out a 1-1, Everton beat Brighton 2-0, and Fulham and Man United also played out a 1-1. I'll start with Everton, obviously. First game in their new stadium, getting off with a win. They were the better team. Brighton again, not really looking great, but not looking terrible. So it's one of them. Brighton did have chances, and in on another day those chances could go in, but when you're missing penalties, it's not great. So, but at that point it was already 2-0. The game was already gone from Brighton. But again, if you score that penalty, it was in the 77th minute, that can give you a boost. So that isn't great for Brighton. But yeah, it's great for Everton to win the first game in their new stadium. But yeah, I think Brighton will feel a little bit annoyed that they couldn't have at least made that last 12 minutes a little bit more exciting if they'd scored the penalty. But it is what it is. Again, on another day it could go in and it could be a different game. Anyway, moving on, we will do Palace against Forest. So this one had all the build-up being around Nuno's future. So obviously in the press conference before the game, he mentioned that, I think it was Friday, he mentioned that the situation with the owner, like the relationship had changed. It wasn't great. And then a few hours later the owner came out and was pretty much baffled by the comments. And throughout Friday and Saturday, it was very up in the air. A lot of mixed reports, some saying that Forest were planning on sacking him, others were saying that there was really no plans at the minute to sack him. Who knew what was going on really? But yeah, I think in the end it was always that he was going to take charge of Palace, but after that it was undecided. But then he kind of maybe put a little bit of a downplay on it in his interviews. Obviously he was asked if he was trying to basically force his way out of the club. He was very against that, saying absolutely not. He was fully committed. He would never walk. He would never leave. And he doesn't want to leave. And also said that him, the owner, and Edu will sit down and have face-to-face conversations about how to try and mend the relationship to a point where they can all pull together in the right direction for the better of the club. I think that's more where the problems lie, not really with Edu, not really with Nuno and Mariacas. It's Nuno and Edu. Apparently, from the very first meeting when Edu came in, they didn't click. There was already friction, and then Edu apparently blocked the transfer of Adama Traore, and that obviously has not impressed Nuno at all. And yeah, but they do have other quality players. Like, you might not have got Adama Traore, but they've brought in James McAtee, they've brought in Amari Hutchinson, and Doy looks like a brilliant winger. They're still going in the market. They're still after 2 players at least that I've seen today. And like I said earlier, we've still got 6 days left of the window, so who knows who else Forest could be in for. They always love bringing in a heap of players. Obviously it's quite late because of the uncertainty around which competition they'd be playing in, whether that was the Europa League or the Conference League. They finally found out quite late that it was the Europa League, so they were able to crack on with their business, and it was quite late. So that's probably why a lot of players are coming through the door in the last couple of weeks, because you know their transfers have been pretty much put on hold until they realised what competition they were going to be competing in. Anyway, that is that for that game. And then Man United Fulham, I mean, what more can you say? Bruno missed a penalty, which is great. No one likes Bruno. And Man United threw away a lead, which is also great. And Ruben Amorim is still shit, which is also great. It's just a win-win-win, really. Yeah, I don't know. I was working, so I didn't really see the game, but I'm again not bothered. I'm not bothered. I don't care if United dominated and were unfortunate to draw that game. I really couldn't care less. I'm just happy that out of 2 games they've only got a point and they're 16th in the table, and it's bloody marvellous. It's bloody marvellous. It's great. It's just grand. It's always funny seeing United towards the bottom of the table, closer to relegation than to the top. It's wonderful. It's marvellous. It's great. It's grand. And United are still shit, which is lovely. Even though they spent 200 million on forwards, they're still shit. So, yeah. It's a whole load of fun, really. Anyway, that is the Premier League situation done. We'll move on to other games. I mean, Real Madrid on the Sunday beat Real Oviedo. I mean, that's expected. But it's not going so well for Trent at Real Madrid at the minute. Yeah, he came on with 3 minutes to go in the Oviedo game, and reports suggesting that Carvajal will keep his place. So, yeah, not looking great for him. Not really that bothered, to be honest. He's not a Liverpool player anymore, so I'm not arsed. Like, I don't care. If it goes badly, it goes badly. Like, you ain't gonna get sympathy out of me. This was all your decision, mate, and it was 2 years in the making, because your fucking first conference, you were fucking speaking better Spanish than any Spanish players ever spoken in their life. You can't learn that in 2 weeks, so it's obviously been orchestrated for a long time, which we all knew. So, fuck him. That's what I have to say about that. Saturday, I mean, Leicester won. I did see that one, and to be honest, they were quite fortunate. They did not look good at all, Leicester. They look very shaky, I'm not going to lie. They could struggle, Leicester, this season. They could struggle to come straight back up, because Charlton dominated them for large parts of that game. And I think Charlton will feel very disappointed not to come away with at least a point from that. Very, very lucky for Leicester. Just like us, really. We were very lucky to come away with 3 points against Newcastle. Absolutely piss poor performance, especially when you're playing a whole second half with against 10 men and you score 20 seconds into the second half. That should be it. We are the only club in world football that is not comfortable at 2-0. I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense, and as I said before, it needs fucking sorted very quickly. What else can I say? Not really a lot. It's not going well at the minute for Will Still at Southampton. 2 defeats. Yeah, it's not looking great for him. Sorry, no. No! Wait a minute. No, I'm lying. Scrap that. I am lying. They did beat. They came from behind. Sorry, against Wrexham and won. And then, yeah. But anyway, they lost at home to Stoke, which ain't great, but, you know, I'm chatting shit. That's what I am, I'm chatting shit. They're 10th, 4 points from 3 games. Okay, so it's not awful. They've won 1, they drawn 1, they lost 1. I'm chatting shit, ignore that. Yeah, nothing really to say about any of this. No one cares about League 1 or League 2 or the National League. Celtic won. Obvious. That's just they're easing their way to another Scottish Premiership. Barcelona won. So, despite Leverkusen losing, Gerald Kwanzaa did score his first goal for Leverkusen and did a tribute to Diogo Jota, which is very, very nice. Very lovely to see. Shame they couldn't go on and win that, but yeah, Kwanzaa is doing quite well, settling in his new club, and I think if he continues like that, that buyback clause will be paid very, very quickly. Yeah, I think what we'll do is I think I'm going to leave it there for this week. There's not really a lot else to go into. Nothing really stands out around the world, really. Yeah, nothing. So, again, that is another completion of this week's review. It's quite shorter than the first week. I think last week I was delving into a lot of the games for large parts, and also I had a lot of kind of rants about transfers in there as well. This week I've tried to make it a little bit quicker, just speed through them, not really haggle on too many games, or like not haggling on speaking about a specific game for too long, just trying to get the key points out and then move on to the next one, which I think is the way I'm going to try and do these going forward. I don't want them to be too long, but also I do want to speak about the games, obviously, but I'll try and keep it as short as possible, including the Liverpool games. However, it is hard, obviously, speaking about my club. I'm obviously going to want to go into quite detailed responses, but I'll try and keep it very, very short. However, I do have to apologise for last week. I did miss out in the Liverpool-Bournemouth game, the racist abuse. I do apologise for that. It kind of just slipped my mind as recording to mention it, but I do want to mention it this week. I am glad that that prick is banned, not just from Anfield, but from all stadiums, at least around this country anyway. I'm glad. He does not represent our club whatsoever, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand racism in general, but especially in football, when like half of our team is black. Like, you're just an idiot. You're a fucking moron, is what you are. And I'm glad he's been banned, and I fucking hope he sorts his life out, really. Because the ban is the least he deserved. But yeah, obviously massive credit to Semenyo for carrying on and then scoring the 2 goals. And then he did put out a statement as well, and it was really, really kind of difficult to read. It's just sad, it really is. And yeah, I hope he becomes a stronger person from this. And yeah, it just, no one should ever go through that. And yeah, it's just horrible, and I'm glad that he will be nowhere near a football stadium ever again, hopefully. Because yeah, it's just an absolute bellend. But anyway, that is the end. In fact, no, it's not. Sorry. I do want to say a big thank you to everyone who watched the first episode. It's up to 65 views now, which is insane. Thank you so much for that. I was not expecting it, really. I haven't had a video with anywhere near 65 views in a very, very long time. So thank you so much for that. I really, really do appreciate it. Yeah, the FIFA 17 Journey videos are doing very well as well. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying, if you have. If you don't, I apologise. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
You build out of lies and deception, raising your way.